Hi, my name is Sue Davies and I'm Deputy Chair of the FNP. And today I'm just going to be introducing everybody to a patronage scheme that we have developed over the course of all the different lockdowns and so on. And just really wanted to make everybody aware of what the patronage scheme is. You may have seen it in Scratch magazine recently, where we've had our first couple of patrons come on board. And I just want to give you a little bit of a breakdown of what it's all about. So the membership of the FNP is going to be opening shortly. And since our soft launch in 2020, we have been self-funded. And whilst we're still trying to develop everything to get ready for the membership, which I know so many people are waiting for, we do need to have funds in our coffers to be able to develop a better website, to give better functionality and that kind of thing, so that our members, when we do launch, actually have something that represents good value for them. As I say, you would have seen in Scratch over the last couple of editions that there is a little bit on OPI and a little bit on Glitterbells, are our first patrons. And it's great to have such a huge heritage brand like OPI on board, as well as a much newer brand that's only been on the market for a few years, but has made massive inroads into the industry and have been waiting in the wings to give us support from the moment they knew that we were going to be doing something along these lines. Today I'm going to be talking with Belinda Price from OPI. Belinda and I go back a really long way, and I just want her to kind of give a little bit of a view from the other side, so a view as to why a patron may want to come on board or a benefactor, and just to have a little discussion around what it means to them to be supporting the FNP as we go on our journey to become the voice of the industry. And we really want to work with our industry to make sure that we can become the best representative for our sector of the personal care areas, because obviously hair and beauty have got huge representation, and nails has always been left behind, and we are very aware that so many of you are waiting for this membership to come, and we just hope that this little video today will enable some patrons to maybe just have a consideration as to what the benefits are for them to begin supporting the FNP. So with this in mind, just want to go through a little bit about what it's about, and to say that we hope it's going to allow a wide range of people to support outside membership fees. Membership fees are going to give you a lot of value for money, but there is also an option, and we are a not-for-profit organisation, so we are able to take donations in a way like patronage and benefactors and so on. So we've created a scale of benefits that, depending on donation levels, will be, there's where we've got 3 different levels that you'll be able to take part in. That there's going to be equally supportive donors, no matter what size of organisation you are, whether you're an individual, a small company, a larger company, a huge distribution company. Everybody's donation is valuable. And we don't want people to feel that they have to hit a certain mark to be able to support their industry body. And so consequently, what we've come up with is a scheme that means that every financial donor will be recognised on the website. There'll be an appreciation page, and so for the company that's doing it, there'll be logo opportunities on that page. All of the patrons and benefactors will be invited to an annual meeting to discuss the progress that we're making. As a not-for-profit organisation, our end-of-year accounts will be published for all donors and members, and that will be a public document. There'll also be quarterly newsletters on our progress and plans, and all donors will be able to make payment on an annual, quarterly and monthly support basis. The only differentiation is that the higher level of donors, the patrons, will be invited to a board meeting quarterly to discuss where the monies are being spent, because obviously they will be providing the highest level of donation to the FNP. So basically, the idea is that there will be the highest level of patronage will be the patrons. This level of investment will be a minimum sum of £5,000 per year, but can be more than that should you choose to. They'll also get access to the results of the recent census of the nail industry. This is a huge document, and we're currently working through and analysing the results. We do have agreement with Scratch to showcase our patrons as we go forward, and patrons, as I say, will have access to the census of the nail industry, and they'll be able to attend different events with us as well. And we want to work closely with our patrons to give them access to when we're providing webinars and seminars and activities and events for the members. Our benefactors are the next level down, and this is the most, probably for most businesses, is going to be the most accessible and the most opportune way of supporting the FNP. It's open to businesses and individuals who'd like to support the FNP, and is open to a one-off minimum sum of £500 per annum, or obviously, as I've already said, you can pay annually, monthly or quarterly. As I say, we know that there's so many smaller companies out there that have wanted to support what we're doing, and we're so grateful that that support's there. So we're hoping that this level will give you the opportunity to support your trade body that we are intending to be, and are doing everything in our power to make happen. And finally, the last but not least level of patronage is to be a friend. And a friend can be anybody. It can be a consumer, it can be a now-tech who doesn't have a big business, or who may not feel that they want to join, but they want to support the industry, you know, because we all have multiple different trade association memberships and different things like that. And so, you know, if you want to support the work of the FNP, you can do so with a one-off minimum payment of £50. And obviously that can go up and be higher than that, but you can do that on a quarterly or monthly basis as well. So we want to remain as transparent as possible, and as a not-for-profit organisation, our accounts are a public document, and will be, once we've formulated our first end-of-year accounts, they will be a public document that will be available on Companies House and so on. But here is a list of our planned spending for the next year or so. Immediately, our website that we started with, we discovered we'll need updating to make it functional for the level that we developed into wanting. And this is already in hand, thanks to the funds that have been donated by OPI and Glitterbells. So we are so grateful that OPI and Glitterbells have come on board that are now helping that process. Going forward, the website is going to need continual development and an advancement, so that it brings our members the best benefits, the information that they need, and the most optimum functionality, and things like, you know, the directory, so that any consumer can come online and find a professional now-tech, and the review section for license to teach, you know, so that you know that you're finding a quality educator who meets the criteria, and it is a strict criteria that the FNP have. So all of that takes huge amounts of development and costs a lot of money, and so that we can provide those amazing benefits, this is where all of the money from the Patronage Scheme is going to be flowing. When we get to the appropriate level of funding, and at that point, it will be a combination of donations from patronage, but also from the membership scheme. As the FNP develops, we will be looking to employ a team and enforce quality assurance that we have in place, the spot checks and overseeing daily functions of the website, and also someone to act as PR, social media manager. You know, these, if you look at any association, whether it's Babtac or the HBF, or whether it's GasSafe or whoever it is, all of these organisations, to be taken seriously, they have to be a proper functioning organisation. This is not a hobby of ours. This is something we're trying to create that is a legacy for our industry. And we can only do that with support from within the industry. And that means that everybody who has been shouting from the rooftops for all these years about we need this, we need that, now's the time to put your hands in your pocket, and without being rude, don't shout for something if you don't want to support it. So I really hope that doesn't come across badly, because that isn't where we want to be. But you know, we cannot proceed without support, and we know that there's so many of you waiting to become members, and obviously the finances that come from that will be very, very helpful and will push forward a lot of different things. But to get something like this off the ground is huge, and yeah, we're still being enlightened on a daily basis of how much we've taken on board, and the level of funding that's going to be required to make that happen. The list I've given is not exhaustive, and we have so many plans, and we do not underestimate what is required for this really, really important project. There are small steps but big ideas, and our dedication, we hope, has proven to be unquestionable. But what we do need is the help and support of our industry to make that reality happen. And I'm now going to introduce Belinda. And as I say, Belinda and I go back a really, really long way. and it's a delight to be able to bring her on board. So we're now welcoming Belinda Price from OPI. And as I was saying, Belinda and I go back a very, very long way, but I'll hand over to Belinda so she can just do a quick introduction on who she is and what she does at OPI.
Hi everyone, I'm Belinda from OPI. I am their education manager, so I look after a team of about 12 educators, I think, across the UK. I'm always on Facebook, always on social, so if ever you've got a question, reach out and ask me. Been in the industry about 30 years, salon owner, competition experience, judging experience, all of those things, probably more besides, but yeah, been around a while and known Sue for ages. Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to run through a few questions just on patronage and how OPI got involved and so on. So if I just start, I've got my little notes of questions down here. So what was it that made OPI want to get involved with the FNP to start with?
Well, I think we all know that the industry's been desperate for it and needed something. And for OPI, we were in a position where we could help. For me personally, I know that the big hurdle is some financial support. And because I was in this position to kind of recommend it to OPI, and go back with Sue, so we were talking about it, it was a great opportunity for us. OPI belongs to the Weller company now, and it's something that they very, very much see some real value in, just to support not just the industry, but support the people that support the industry.
Yeah, oh, that's good. So obviously OPI is probably one of the biggest brands in the world, and within the nail industry particularly. So and when we were talking ages ago, you were saying about it, you in passing, you just said, oh yeah, you know, it's a heritage brand. And it just kind of resonated so much because OPI is so internationally known. And it is, and you know, OPI has been around forever. And for us, it's really, really good to be involved with such a huge organisation, and obviously now owned by Weller. You know, the limit is limitless, isn't it? I suppose, like the reach that Weller have, because they're just like global brand on top of like OPI's global branding already. But what is it? So, what kind of thing is it that they look for when they're going to be supporting industry projects, even?
I think. I mean, we try to be really involved in the industry and try to really be aware of what the industry needs and the focuses and the changes the industry need to make, and all sorts of campaigns throughout the year, charity campaigns and things as well. So we do that as a corporate, but also OPI as well have their own initiatives. So as a corporate, the Weller company is supporting other industry associations that support hair and support beauty. And there's nothing like being behind and backing a new association, especially for OPI, when it is a brand new association and it's got such an amazing board as well. You know, you are a little powerhouse, aren't you, really, all of you on that team. So you know it's going to succeed, but you, again, going back, you know it needs the money to succeed. So it was just absolutely a natural step for us, really, to support you.
It's good. And also, and I think that, you know, we were talking just before we started recording, weren't we, about the different changes that the industry's gone through. And you know, and OPI's gone through a lot of changes over the pandemic, and its consumer focus has become much more dominant because obviously the professional market wasn't there purchasing in the way that it normally is. But we're really hope, like for us as the FNP, we really hope we can kind of build on that wonderful link that you have to the consumer world, because as professionals, we all know the problems of our clients arriving or potential clients phoning, asking for information, that have half-cocked ideas of what it is that we do and what we provide. And so do you think OPI will be able to kind of help, you know, be that missing link that's been there for so long, that we can actually now start to speak to the consumer?
Yeah, definitely, because, you know, we are in consumer press massively. We are a household name. Who doesn't remember the name of one of our nail polishers? Seriously, you know, I think you could probably go out there and ask anybody, and most people would be able to think of, if not the one they had, the one the mum had or whatever, because we're 40 years old this year, you know, it's 40th anniversary. So I think in the consumer world now, the brand awareness is huge. We're top of mind for brands when asked. So yeah, but it can only help the FNP to continue banging that drum with consumers as well.
That element of consumer awareness that's there, you know, if with OPI and all of our patrons that we take on board, you know, obviously the logo is there to be used, and if it starts the consumer going, who are the FNP and what do they stand for, they can find us, and we will have a lot of information on the website when it's there and finally built in its perfected state. You know, there will be a lot of consumer information there to help them make the right decision on choosing a professional. And yeah, with the likes of OPI and Digibells on board, hopefully that's going to start pushing out a little bit more.
Great to see.
So for other organisations and individuals looking at our patronage scheme, what do you think it is that is a draw to become a patron or a benefactor?
Again, our thing very much was we wanted to support the industry and our customers, whether they be consumer or whether they be pro. We want to support them and help them move forward and grow and understand the nail business and grow their business. But I think that the learnings as well from the FNP, you've had that great census that's had some really good learnings and findings in there, and I think that the fact that you're so willing to share that type of information as well will help us as a company drive things forwards as well. It gives us some real insights. It's not the type of information that's easy to come by, and I know you've put a lot of time and effort into it, so
there's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every question leads you to another 5 questions. It's
yeah, of course it does. Yeah, and you know, it's great that you are going to be at the exhibitions. You're going to be running the competitions as well, which is fabulous. So your profile is going to be huge, which makes our profile huge, and all together again, going back to it, it's like one big circle. We're supporting the industry, aren't we, and driving standards.
Absolutely. And it is, and I mean, I know, you know, we were just talking about the involvement OPI will have at the shows with us, and Belinda will most likely be there. So if anyone wants to have a chat with Belinda about what it's like to be a patron for the FNP, then obviously she'll be around and about somewhere at the show. We will have a stand there as well. So I'm sure Belinda will be kind of popping around, being on our stand, being in the competition, being on the seminar stage. But it is, but being part of the patron group that we're going to have, will, you know, hopefully it'll open doors for us, but equally we'll open doors, you know, and it is a mutual arrangement, and that's the big key to it, I think, is just that, you know, everybody gets something out of it. But and the census that is now completed, and we're just in the course of analysing everything. Marion's been working very, very hard. I've just offloaded all the data, and she's sitting going through it all at the moment. And there is some fascinating stuff, and that data will be available to our patrons, as I was saying in like the bit before I was chatting with Belinda. And there's going to be some very, very useful stuff in there. It's just like the education side of things. I was just saying to Belinda before, you know, understanding how people are looking to source education, what they get out of it, what they think of how it's delivered, and all that kind of stuff is all in there, alongside how they make product choices. And there's some fascinating data.
Yeah, it'll be great for us, because obviously coming out of a pandemic, education's looked very, very different for 18 months. Yeah. And I think any company now will be weighing up the pros and cons, and it's a balancing act. There'll be an element, it'll be very much blended learning, an element of virtual, an element of face-to-face, and knowing exactly what people are looking for will be really vital.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so I think that probably wraps up just a little bit of background onto what the Patron scheme is and what it does. And just thank you so much, Belinda, for sparing the time today to come on and have a chat. And and we look forward very much to seeing everybody in person at Professional Beauty North and South.
Yeah, it'd be great.
We'll be hovering around somewhere at Olympia as well. So it's going to be exciting few months ahead.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So dig deep, everybody. Help them out if you can. They need it, and it'll be worth it for all of us.
Absolutely. Exactly. You can join the patronage scheme as a friend from a minimum of £50 as a benefactor as a minimum of £500 and as a patron with a minimum of £5,000. And all of those are available on monthly, quarterly or annual schemes. But do, you know, we can't make this work without the support of the industry. So as I said earlier, if you've been saying and shouting from the rooftops how we need an industry association, now is the time to put your money where your mouth is, effectively.
Yeah,
so please support us and help us elevate the industry and become the voice of the industry. Thank you very, very much, Belinda.
You're welcome. Well done, all of you.
And that's, yeah, thank you very much. It's a definite work in progress. And and we will see each other soon.